An unstable mind doesn't always know it's unstable. Slingshot was directed by Michael Hofstrom, whose previous work includes films like 1408, The Right, Escape Plan, and Outside the Wire. Check out his IMDb page for the full list of his work. This is written by R. Scott Adams, who did Donner Pass, as well as Nathan Parker, who did Our House. In the middle of space, our house. What were we fucking thinking by putting our house in the cold vastness of space? We can't get Amazon packages in our place. Not our drinks, not our snacks, not our new Alexa, not delivered to our house. And he also did Moon! Perfect orbit, my ass! You get where that line is. I love you guys. I need to check out Moon again because I remember liking Moon, but I haven't seen it in quite a while. So this featured two name actors. Casey Affleck playing John. John, the astronaut son, stole a pig and away he went. I think that's how that goes. As well as Captain Frank's Lawrence Fishburne. Lawrence Fishburne in a space movie where things go wrong. Oh, at least they haven't... Oh, no, not Event Horizon. No, we're not doing it. No. Cancel it. It's not worth it. Okay, so this isn't like Event Horizon, where a lot of violence happened, a lot of stuff happened, and you know what? I didn't really care much for Event Horizon. Cue the negative comments. Maybe I'll check it out again at some point, but every time I've seen it, I've seen it at least 3 times, and it has never appealed to me. That being said, Lawrence Fishburne is a terrific actor. A terrific fucking actor. There's also another guy named Nash, Tomer Capone, who I recognize the guy, but god damn it, I can't place where the fuck he was from. But basically, this centers around John, along with these 2 other astronauts, on a deep space mission to do a slingshot move around Jupiter to get to Saturn's Titan moon that apparently has enough atmosphere or enough resources to where they can create a new Earth with blackjack and hookers because climate change is destroying everything. Boy, we better get started on that before everything fries here. It's going to be like that goddamn Twilight Zone episode, except in reverse. It won't be freezing, it'll be on fire. But before that happens, let's talk about Slingshot. Yes, that's pretty much it. They communicate with Houston, we have a problem. Mainly that we're Houston, and our baseball team cheats. Well, only bad cheaters get caught. Nevertheless, it turns out that through flashbacks, a lot of flashbacks, we find out that John left a woman behind, Zoe, played by Emily Beecham, who I do want to say, by the way, is very lovely. Very, very lovely. She was in a movie called Little Joe that I've been meaning to check out. And then we also have a guy back at Mission Control, Sam, who made the pants too long. And he's actually played by David Morrissey. Oh, this is Morrissey. Also, the voice of the spaceship is, and I want to get this right, Nicolette Barabbas, who I do want to say, based on her pictures, fucking hell, she's lovely. I would like to have seen her in this movie. That being said, a few fun facts about this movie. It takes place entirely on a ship in like maybe 3 rooms, and it, according to the end credits, it's not a spoiler, at least as far as like anything for plot, 21 executive producers listed. I fucking counted. Did everybody chip in like $200 and then they just got the studio funding? It's from Bleecker Street. Bleecker Street's kind of becoming my version of Blumhouse for movies that aren't necessarily all that interesting. Oh, did I tip it? I tipped it. Yeah, I tipped it. Remember ISS? Remember that space station thing? This is kind of like that. Except it's only, well, actually it's about as interesting as that. Look, okay, Casey Affleck doesn't do too bad. Lawrence Fishburne is dialed in enough. And Tomer Capone is fine. He's fine. I think he's actually a pretty good actor. I just don't think his character's given much to do. The thing about the movie, though, is it's an agonizing 109 minutes when it's basically a short film concept. Had this been 35 minutes, it would have been a whole lot better. Because, A, adding all the flashbacks that they added doesn't really add a lot of levity to the relationship between Zoe and John. And there's really not a lot to it. And also the twist, and then all this stuff, it's obvious. It's just obvious where the movie's going from the beginning. And it does have a few, little hints, like the fact it practically beats you over the head when it talks about a moth going into the life, flying into the life as a survival instinct. There are a couple neat little songs in this. These are, I guess, minor spoilers. Oh, Lord, please don't let me be caught sporting wood. I think that's how the song goes. And the Kinks, You Really Got Me. Oh, I really love you for all time. Oh, I really love you. You really got me. You really got... Yeah. Third Eye Blind did a rendition of that on a TV show I forgot about. Anyway, so yeah, Oh, Lord, please don't let me be misunderstood is done a couple times in this, and yeah, if you pay attention to the lyrics of that, you kind of get spoiled on what's going on in the movie. Basically, there's rapidly declining sanity because you're on a deep space mission, and even if you prepare for it, it's not going to always go all that well. And yeah, that's about it. It's kind of like ISS, except both movies are really boring. Slingshot is just not very interesting. It's in theaters, shockingly. I don't know how. Look, the performances are halfway decent, and everybody's committed enough. The thing is, this movie doesn't have enough material to justify itself being, put out into theaters. It should have been to Netflix, Hulu, something like that. I see this making maybe what ISS did, if that, and it's going to be out on streaming within 4 to 6 weeks. And I know the writer's strike and the actor's strike prevented a lot of movies from getting done, and we're going to have to wait till 2025, possibly 2026, to get more good stuff, maybe, provided theaters don't just go absolutely tits up. But you get films like this that just feel like carbon copies with a couple neat little ideas and a couple committed performances, but it's all stuff you've seen before. It's all been done in space before. I'm going to get into spoilers. 3, 2, 1, and spoilers. So, John keeps talking about his, his feelings, like getting out of hypersleep. And these drugs cause all kinds of delusions, possible side effects, nausea, all this, shifts in reality. And that's pretty much where the movie basically keeps going. It's obvious that John is trying to hold it together, but he's not holding it together all that well. And then as things go on, Nash is like, look, we need to slingshot back to Earth. We need to do it in reverse. We need to get back to Earth. Because certain things start happening, like stuff is being dented. And, like something's suddenly dented, but it didn't damage the hull. So somehow, despite the fact they're in the vastness of space, whatever this is didn't cause any damage. And then more stuff starts to get damaged. More weird shit's going on. And it becomes obvious that Nash is absolutely off his goddamn tits. Well, John ain't doing much better. And Captain Franks is has about had it up to here with everybody. And then we just get the obvious answer by the end of this whole thing. Like he keeps going into hypersleep and wakes up worse and worse every single time he does. Because it's such a deep space mission, if you were if you were awake the whole goddamn time, you would age quite a lot. It's kind of dangerous, though, to go into hypersleep when, when there's not a lot of people in the goddamn ship. Because what happens if they get sick? I mean, what happens if everybody goes into hypersleep? Do we get a xenomorph? A xenomorph on here would have actually helped. So, yeah, basically, let's just get to the meat of the whole goddamn matter, because any of the things that actually happen just don't end up mattering, because he's communicating all in his head. All this shit's going on in his head, basically. And he is suddenly talking to Zoe, after the captain basically said your relationship with her was manufactured, and John's always been committed to the mission. All this shit's going on. Other loud, voices in his head. They counsel him, they understand, they talk to him. And he suddenly looks up at the name and sees John Frank Nash. It's just him. It's just him on the goddamn ship, and that's it. And Zoe then tells him, we wanted to do a dry run, and we put you in a under the ground 1,000 feet in a bunker to test yourself out. And an earthquake hit. They talked about an 8.4 earthquake, hence the panel, freaking out and, getting loose and other stuff happening, but didn't quite damage the hull. So all this stuff, maybe it could be, that he's just dreaming all this goddamn stuff in hypersleep. Oh, no. He's just rapidly losing his goddamn mind. She says, all you gotta do is come out, go towards where we're drilling and everything, and we'll get you. Because a little bit earlier, she actually talked about how And we're talking about moths drawn to the light and stuff like that. And she references how flying into the light is a survival instinct because what's the alternative? Down into darkness. So what do? Do you go to the light? Do you pass on? Or do you descend down into darkness? What do you do? So it becomes clear that, okay, all he's got to do is go towards this light and everything. He's seeing all this stuff and all this stuff's weirdly going on. He's meanwhile standing in the airlock and the airlock's about to open. And he was communicating with Zoe until he wasn't communicating with Zoe because he finally fully cracked. The airlock opens and he goes out. And Lawrence Fishburne is trying to yell at him not to do it. But I think that's his last bit of sanity, telling him, yeah, you don't fucking do that. You don't. I'm throwing away my goddamn. That's what I got goddamn say about Slingshot. Because, yeah, fucking duh. That's exactly where they were goddamn going with it. It's just, it didn't. I'm sorry. This just didn't work. This didn't work. It was obvious where it was going. It wasn't interesting. Any of the little bits of, like, information we get don't advance the story enough because there isn't enough story to advance. There was this one weird body horror thing where he's freaking out and his arm grows like he's the fucking Thing. I don't know why that made me laugh so much, but it was kind of funny. But yeah, just all this stuff while he's on the space station by himself, he's working through it. Or maybe there were other people on the goddamn thing and he just killed everybody. I'm willing to bet that he was just on there by himself and he fabricated all this shit. Slingshot felt fabricated. It felt done by AI. Not as much as Afraid. Check out my review of that. I'm sorry, it's just not very good. It's not very interesting. It's like it's a less interesting ISS, and that's saying something. So yeah, Agree, disagree, what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm Charmlin. I'll see you soon.